Let's get it. Hope everybody's had a great, what day is it? Wednesday. As everybody is checking in, shout yourselves out in the comment section. Tap the screen. Let's get this heart action going on Periscope, the likes on Facebook, the hearts or whatever it is they have come up on Instagram. As y'all checking in, shout yourselves out. Let's get into it. Hope everybody's had a great Wednesday thus far. We're about to get started in a minute. We ain't going to take too long on the introductions. Y'all know what this is. If you don't know, you're going to find out in a minute when I introduce myself, introduce the topic, and we get into what we got to get into today. Mozart Gates said today's podcast is fire. What was the topic that you listened to today, Mozart Gates, so everybody else can find out? We got Mary Rose checking in from Boston. I'm doing good, Mary Rose. Shout out to Mary. How you doing? Shout out to everybody out there in Boston. Shout out to Boston. Shout out to Cambridge. Shout out to New England. Shout out to all of New England. As y'all are checking in, again, shout yourselves out in the comment section. We're going to get started in about 15 seconds. I'm going to introduce myself, introduce the topic. We're going to get into what we got to get into. I'm going to tell you how you can get something from me for free. I'm going to give you this presentation for free. Then I'm going to tell you how you can get something physical from me in the mail for free. Then I'm going to tell you some more stuff after that. And we're going to get all that in. All right, so the question is, someone who hasn't found their passion, I suggest you listen to my podcast episode on how to find your passion. I did a whole podcast on that. Ronald Portilla. 13. Go to workonyourgamepodcast.com. Anyway, everybody, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. I'm a former 9-year professional athlete, now full-time CEO, owner of my company, Work On Your Game Incorporated. I'm the author of 27 books, including Work On Your Game, including this book right here called The Mirror of Motivation, which you can get for free. When I get to the end of this presentation, I'm going to tell you how you can get this book for free. So if you want this book, just stick around to the end of this presentation. It'll take about 20 minutes. I'm going to tell you how you can get this book, or you can just go to the link that's in the title of this live. So it ain't like it's a huge secret as to how to get the book. Go to mirrormotivation.com. But I'll tell you more about that later. And what I do, I created this whole philosophy, this whole brand, and this business here that is called Work On Your Game. What it's about is taking the mental tools that you need to succeed in sports and teaching how those same tools can be applied to business and life. So what I talk about these days is usually not a sports topic. There's not always specifically a business topic. It's just this whole overall thing about work on your game, how this can apply to anything. So it might be about sports. We might talk about race. We might talk about politics. We can talk about social issues. We can talk relationships. We can talk business. We can talk about anything that we want. But I always relate it back to this whole philosophy of work on your game. So anybody who has any questions about anything that I say here today, you can leave them in the comment section while I'm talking. I'm going to answer all the questions at the end. So today's topic is that belief is a skill. Some people think incorrectly that belief is just something that you're lucky to have belief. Either you believe in yourself or you don't, or you can get lucky to have it if you got a certain amount of talent, or you got a certain amount of ability, or you get a certain amount of serendipity that shines on you. Absolutely not. Belief is a skill, meaning something you can cultivate, you can work on it, you can develop it. The same way you could develop a jump shot in basketball, the same way you can learn how to cook, the same way you can learn how to be a public speaker, you can learn to believe in yourself. It is a skill. And the reason why I'm talking about this is I was watching the tennis tournament a while ago. This had to be maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I was watching a Wimbledon tennis tournament. It was the women's event, and Serena Williams was playing. And while she was playing, this graphic came up on the screen. And everybody knows Serena's like the best women's tennis player, right? So this graphic came up on the screen, and it said they had polled a whole bunch of other players on the tour, the tennis tour. What is the number one thing that you need to beat Serena? If you're going against Serena, what's the number one skill that you need? And it was like 4 different things. It was like serving, returning serve, endurance, and the other one was like confidence or belief. And confidence won. Of all the professional players who have played against Serena, the number one skill you need to beat Serena Williams is confidence. And I posted it on my Instagram when I saw it. This was a couple of years ago. I don't know how far you have to scroll to find it. But it made me think of this topic right here. Understanding that belief is something that can be cultivated and created, unlike equality. You can't create equality. You can't make everybody equal. But you can make somebody believe in themselves, and you can make yourself believe in yourself. You can't help anybody else do it till you do it for yourself. So that's what we're talking about here today. Number one point. Question somebody might ask, well, Dre, how can belief, what about skills? Does somebody have to have skills, or does somebody have to have a certain level of skill to be able to believe in themselves? What about athletic ability? What about talent? What about training? What about resources or money or knowledge or connections or any of those things? Do any of those things have anything to do with your ability to believe in yourself? Understand something. Many athletes coming from the sports world, I get many athletes who will come to me and they would say things like, Dre, I'm not sure if putting all this working on my game in basketball, football, baseball, whatever, I'm not sure it's going to be worth it. I'm not sure this effort is worth it. And why do people say that? If somebody's thinking about starting a business, and I say, listen, I started a business. I know how to start a business. I know the things that you need. I know the elements you need in place. I know the principles you need to follow, or you want to write a book, or you want to start doing live streams, or you want to have a podcast, or you want to build a brand. You want to do something, and you come across someone who has already done it, and they're going to show you how to do it. And then you say something like, I'm not sure that the effort is going to be worth it. I'm not sure it's going to be worth it for me to even try to accomplish this outcome. Why do people say that? Why do people say they're not sure the effort is going to be worth it? Let me tell you why. There's only one reason why people think the effort to achieve an outcome is not going to be worth it. Is because they don't believe that the results will come. That's the only time. Only time you think putting in the work won't be worth it, especially if there's already examples of people who have done it, is you just don't believe you are going to be able to achieve the results. I want you to understand something. Training, practicing, being disciplined, doing the work, taking the courses, getting the knowledge, studying, getting the information, all those little disciplined, hard work, grinding things that you have to do to achieve an outcome in life, all of those things are much easier to do when you believe that there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Can everybody agree? Has any of you ever been in a situation where you were training or studying or working really hard on something, but you weren't quite sure it was even going to work? You weren't sure it was actually going to produce a result? How excited were you to keep working on it? Probably weren't excited at all. You probably wanted to give up. You probably gave up. Maybe you did give up. Maybe you didn't even keep going. And when you don't have belief that you are going to achieve an outcome, it's really hard to work hard at that thing. It's really hard to be disciplined about it. It's really hard to fight through the setbacks. It's really hard to move yourself and be a self-starter and have the energy to actually get something going because you do not believe that the result is going to occur. Belief is one of the number one things you need. People ask me, Dre, what keeps you showing up? When I was playing ball, people say, Dre, why did you show up to the gym every day to work on your game? The reason I showed up every day, and this is when, and I'm talking about even during the periods when, Dre, you didn't have a job. You didn't have a contract to play overseas. You didn't know when your next job was coming. You didn't know if you would get a next job. Why did you keep showing up to the gym every day to work on your game? I'm going to tell you why. Because of my belief that something was going to happen. My belief that I was going to create my next opportunity. My belief that something was going to turn and that thing was going to start working out. If you do not believe that you are going to get a result, it's really hard to work hard. It's really difficult to show up every day and do work on something if you don't believe that there is some reason for you doing it. You feel like you're doing something for nothing, you're probably not going to keep doing it. No sane individual, anybody who has complete control of their mental faculties, does something for nothing. Nobody does that. We only do things when we believe there's something we're going to get for doing it. Or we can avoid something that we don't want to get. Now, you don't want to get in trouble by if you're a 14-year-old kid, you don't want to get in trouble from your parents. You do what they say so that you don't get put on punishment, or they don't take your phone, or you don't get grounded, or you don't get your ass whipped by your mom. You have a reason for doing what you're doing, right? Nobody does something for nothing. So if you don't have the belief that you're going to get an outcome, you're probably not going to do anything. Okay? So any of you trying to wonder, or any of you wondering, how do I move myself just to do the work, to have the discipline, to show up every day and keep trying? You got to start from a foundation of believing that there's going to be a result. And one of the best ways to believe there's going to be a result is to get with somebody who has already produced a result, so that you know that they know that you know that there's a plan to be followed, that you have proof right there of that person that knows that thing is going to work out. But you must have the belief that this thing is going to turn out, okay? We stop effort when we can no longer envision a result. When people can no longer see the vision of achieving an outcome, they stop trying. Point number 2. Today's topic is belief is a skill. When you're going against someone, second point, when you're going against someone who is just as good as you, or maybe even better than you, and when it comes to skills or resources or talent, then it's no longer a skill competition. This is what I tell people in the professional sports world. And professional sports world is not a skills competition. All right, when you're playing against, who is a great basketball player, Jimmy Butler or LeBron James or Luka or Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant and things like that, when they're going up against each other, all right, they all got different abilities, but they're all pretty damn good, right? They all on the top level of the game. It's not a skill competition between LeBron James and Kevin Durant. It's not a skill competition between two guys playing professional basketball at the overseas level. It is a skill competition, but it's not. It's really a matter of mindset. It's a matter of mental approach. It's a matter of focus. It's a matter of belief. That's what the game is really about when everybody has skill. When everybody can play, if everybody has money, if everybody has knowledge, if everyone has resources, if everyone has access to the same tools that can help them achieve, then it's not a matter of skill anymore. It's a matter of focus. It's a matter of mentality. It's a matter of belief. All of that starts up here in the head, in between the ears. It has nothing to do with anything from the neck down. You got to have these just to get in the game. But once you're in the game, because you got this part down, then it's everything up here. That's where the game changes. So how is it, the question I ask people, how is it that the worst team in the NBA can beat the best team in the NBA on any given night? And then the very next night, that same team, worst team in the league who beat the best team, they go lose to another terrible team the following game after that. Why is that? Did they all of a sudden become talented one random night? Of course not. The reason they were able to do that is because the night before they played against the great team, that terrible team, all the players went to bed early. They all got ample sleep. They were all super focused. They were ready to perform because they knew they were playing in a game that mattered finally, because their normal games don't matter. They're playing against a good team. They all got focused. They were all ready to put their best foot forward because they don't want to be embarrassed, because they are professionals after all. And they had a great game against the best team in the league. Then the next night, when the game didn't matter anymore, they went right back to being garbage. It's not because they lost talent. They didn't lose their ability. What they lost is their focus. What they gained before that was focus, and what they lost after that was focus. At the professional level, everybody, is what I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about the amateur level. At the amateur level, a talented person can just beat somebody just off talent. They don't even have to try. A person who's way more skilled than another person at the amateur level will win every time, just because the skill level is just too big that you're not going to beat them. But at the professional level, when everybody has talent, resources, knowledge, resumes, access to tools, the game is not a physical game anymore. It's not a skill game anymore. It is a focus game. It's a mentality game. All right, everybody understand this. While you do need skill to get to the pro level, belief can overcome what you lack in skill. So when y'all hear that saying, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, that saying is not true, especially at the amateur level. At the amateur level, the most talented person, if they're talented enough, they're going to beat everybody. I don't care how hard you work. You ain't beating them because the talent gap is too big. At the pro level, there is no talent gap. All right, everybody has talent. Now, some players have more than others, understand, but it's really a focus thing. That's what makes the difference. Especially the smaller the group, the more it matters focus. Like you take something like basketball, the NBA, you got 500 people. Out of all the people in the world that play ball, it ain't a talent thing. It's a focus thing. Talent matters, but it's a focus thing. And this is not just in sports, but in everything in life, handling circumstances. I want to make clear to you that some resources, skill, time, knowledge, money, etc., they will matter, okay? And they can aid you greatly. So if you're 5 feet 5 inches tall, you're probably not going to make it as a basketball player. I don't care how much you believe, okay? You got to have a certain amount of talent to get into the game. And once you're in the game, the whole game becomes mental. This is why you hear athletes or trainers or motivational speakers who know sports, they say 90% of sports is from the neck up, or maybe 95%, 99%. The game is all mental. Everybody got that. So if you find yourself in a competition with someone who has equal skill level to you, the game is no longer physical. Now you got to beat them mentally. You get your mental game in the right place, the physical game will do what it needs to do. You already know what you got to do physically. That's why you do the training. That's why you work out every day. That's why you get the skills. That's why you went to school. That's why you read the books. That's why you get the knowledge and the information. That part is already taken care of. It's the focus that determines how much of your skill you actually use when you need it. Has any of you ever been in a situation where you didn't use all of your skills, and you know you didn't use all your skills, and you're wondering, why did I not use all of my abilities? I know I can do this thing, but when I got the chance to do it, I just didn't do it. I couldn't bring the abilities out of me. If you ever had that challenge, I'm telling you why it happens is because your focus was not in the right place. Your mind was not in the right place. Maybe you were nervous. Maybe you were anxious. Maybe you had too many other things going on. You didn't have time to really get zeroed in on your performance. Something kept you from focusing fully, and that's why you didn't bring out all of your skills. The mental game is not what makes you have skill. Your physical work is what makes you have skill. The mental game determines how much of your skill you actually apply when it matters. Okay, that's what the mental game is about. What percentage? If your skill is this much and your mental game is on point, you use this much of your skill, 100%. If your mental game is only halfway on point, you only use half of your skill. And this is how people get frustrated. They know they can do it, but then they get into performance and they only do half of what they're capable of doing. That's because your mental game was not on point. And at the end of this live, I'm going to tell you how to get this book that's going to help you solve that problem, at least get you started on solving that problem. Point number 3, the topic here today is belief is a skill. The third point, if you flip this question around from the beginning of this live, when I talked about, they asked tennis players, what's the number one key skill to beating Serena Williams? And the majority, overwhelming answer was confidence. It was self-belief. Not serving, not stamina, not footwork, not conditioning, not the weather, not what surface the tennis match is played on. And that's what most casual people think. Oh, you beat her because you served better, or you beat LeBron because you made more three-pointers. No, it is focus. It is mindset. If you ask Serena Williams this question, if you ask Tiger Woods, if you ask LeBron James, if you ask whoever the best football player is, whoever that happens to be, you ask Usain Bolt, no runner. If you ask any of them, what is it that makes you so great? What is it that makes you so good at what you do? Of course, you're going to get the default answer from anybody who is a success. Most people are successful. You ask them what makes you so great, they usually default to hard work, right? I work really hard. I put the time in. I do the training. My trainer, my regimen, my nutrition. I make sure I get proper rest. I invest in myself. And those things are true. They're not lying. Those things are true. But the main thing that keeps people successful and makes people successful and stay a success, even when they got all these competitors trying to beat them and studying their game and trying to break down their weaknesses and still can't beat them, it is belief. It is confidence. It is the way that they see themselves when they walk into a gym or walk onto the golf course or the tennis court or the football field or the track or into the swimming pool, whatever it happens to be, is the way that they see themselves. It is their belief that makes them better than everybody else. What makes LeBron great is, you got to understand, we break it down. He believes that he should be the best player on the court when he goes out and plays. He believes he should be looked at as the best player. He believes he should win the championship. And because he believes that, check this out. Because he believes that, what does he do? Now he goes and invests $1 million in his body every year. Why? Why does he invest $1 million in his body? Does he have to? No. I mean, he's talented enough. He'd be pretty good without making any investment. He could be an all-star just off talent alone. Just off talent and a little bit of work, he could be an all-star. Why does he invest $1 million? Because he believes that he needs to be the best player. And to fulfill that belief, now he has to do all this stuff. Now I got to invest $1 million in my body. Now I got to hire 2 chefs. Now I got to have a trainer. Now I got to make sure the trainer travels with me. Now I got to make sure I have good players around me. Now I got to make sure I uphold a standard so my team knows they got to play at a certain level because I can't win the championship by myself. Now I know I got to be an ambassador of the game. Now I know I got to score 30 points. Now I know I got to get a triple-double in the finals. Now I got to do all these things to do what? To fulfill the self-image that he has to be the best player. You see how this works? Tiger Woods, I don't know golf like that, but I'll break it down. Tiger Woods believes he's supposed to be the best golfer. At least let's talk about Tiger when Tiger was killing it in golf. I don't know what he's doing now. But when he was killing it in golf, his mentality was, I got to be the best player. And because he believed that, look at the actions that he took. He had to have the best trainers. He had to have the best golfing equipment. He had to make sure he put in his hours. He had to make sure he got the right rest. He had to make sure if anything was wrong with his body or with his swing or anything with his mindset was off, he immediately made a phone call and got it fixed that fast because he knew, listen, to fulfill my belief of being the best, I can't have any holes in my game. So I got to make sure anything that comes up, I got to fix it immediately. I got to invest in this. I got to work on this. I got to train for this. I got to be prepared for that because it's fulfilling the belief. The belief comes first. The actions come second. Everybody listen to what I just said. You believe first. Then you fulfill the belief by taking the actions. If you believe you're supposed to be the best out there, then you take all these actions that fulfill the belief. Well, when you see LeBron and they say LeBron does this, this, and this in the offseason is as long as the things he does to take care of himself, why does he do that? Again, he doesn't have to. He already got a contract. He already got the money. Why is he doing it? Because it has to fulfill the belief. He sees himself as a certain level of performer. Therefore, he has to do these things to make sure he fulfills his self-image. And there are other players out there who don't do any of that. They don't invest in themselves. They don't work out in the offseason. They rest on their laurels. They just get by on talent. Why do they do that? Because their self-image is, I already made it. I'm good. I'm taken care of. I've already got my contract. I made it. I ain't got to do nothing else. So they don't take the actions. It's because of the way they see themselves. And you looking at your life right now, your actions are a reflection of how you see yourself. They're a reflection of your belief. If you want your actions to change, start by changing how you see yourself. I'm going to tell you how to do that right now. So all that being said, I told you I'm going to tell you how to get this book for free. It is called The Mirror of Motivation, the Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. I'm going to take all questions in a moment. You get this book by going to mirrorofmotivation.com. Same as the title of the book. Take out the word the, mirrorofmotivation.com. Why do you want this book? You want this book because most of you have goals. If you're listening to this, you have goals. And if you're listening to this, you know you got to do work to reach your goals. All right, those are taken care of. What you need to change is how you're seeing yourself. If your work is not producing the goals that you want yet, What may need to change is the way that you see yourself in the mirror, the way that you look at yourself, the presence that you have, the energy you have. What you believe about yourself matters 10 times more than anything anybody else can say, do, or think about you. Nothing I say to you matters even 5% as much as what you say to you. That's why I wrote this book, and that's why it's called The Mirror of Motivation. This is not Dre Hype Up Guide. This is not some YouTube motivational speaker getting you excited before you go to work in the morning. This is the mirror of motivation, so that you can look in the mirror and you can tell yourself who you need to be. This gives you the frameworks for you answering that question, who do I need to be? You can take this with you throughout your life, and that belief will be there first, which will lead to the actions, which will lead to the results. So if you're interested in that, go to mirrorofmotivation.com. Now, if you want to stay the same and you don't want to get any better and you're good where you're at, I can't help you. But if you're looking to step your game up and take yourself to the next level, go to mirrorofmotivation.com. Take care of a small shipping charge. The book is already paid for. The book is free. You take care of the shipping. I'll ship that to you worldwide. While you're there, you got an option to get the 4-book bulletproof bundle. And on the next page, I'll make you an offer to get this book, 250-page magnum opus, Work on Your Game, along with my book, The Mental Workbook. All that being said, I'm going to recap these 3 points, and then I'm going to take questions. So if you got a question, post it in the comment section right now. I'm going to address it. My topic here today is belief is a skill. Number 1, people ask, well, what about actual physical skills? Athletic ability, talent, resources, money, training, connections. Listen, you won't know that your effort is worth it to achieve all those things unless you believe that you're actually going to get a result. You stop trying when you do not think you're going to get an outcome. Your belief leads to the work, and the work leads to the skill. Point number 2, when you are going against someone who is equally as good as you or even better than you, you're no longer in a skills competition. You are in a belief and focus and mindset competition. When your belief, focus, and mindset are on point, you can beat somebody who is even a little bit better than you, and definitely you can beat somebody who is on the same level as you if your focus is stronger than their focus. And the longer you can keep your focus, the more sustained your outcomes will be. Understand that you do need a certain level of physical resources and abilities to get to the professional level, but once you get there, the competition is no longer skill. The competition now becomes focus, mindset, and self-image, self-belief. Or if you're 5'5", you're probably not making it to the NBA no matter how much you believe. But if you're 6'5", now it's a matter of focus. Number 3, if you flip and ask Serena Williams, ask any Tiger Woods, ask LeBron James, what is it that makes you so great? Yeah, they're going to talk about their hard work and their training, but the reason they do the hard work and the training is because they believe that the hard work and the training will fulfill their self-image of being the best at what they do. You could do the exact same thing. It is a choice. It is a mentality. This is not a talent. It is not luck. All that being said, let me address questions. If you got a question, go ahead and post it in the comments section right now. The topic here today was belief is a skill. For those who came in the middle of this, my name is Dre Baldwin. Many know me as Dre all day. And I do this on a consistent basis. So everybody in here can tell you. All right, Mozart said today was 1628. What about equal opportunity? Yeah, that was a good topic. I like that topic too. I didn't listen to it back myself yet. I listened to my own show. So shout out to everybody who listens to the Work on Your Game show every day. D. Milano said, yeah, it's a marathon. You're absolutely right. It is a marathon. Not a sprint, marathon. Long distance running. Nelson Manticon MMA. Nelson Manticon MMA. Shout out to Nelson. May says, when you jog in the morning, would you recommend jogging when your knees have a mild to moderate strain? That's to each his own. I can't really say for any individual person. It depends on how your body feels. You got to listen to your body. But there's no one answer to that question. Tillman Givens, what's going on, my man? Checking in from H-Town. Shout out to H-Town in the house. Said, long time no see. I'm going to support you. Yeah, Tillman, I've been an author for a long time. I don't know when you saw me, but I was an author then too. So make sure you go get that. Mirrorofmotivation.com, Tillman. Mirrorofmotivation.com. Evan said, how can you up your confidence before you're about to play so you can dominate the game? Get my book called How to Play as Well as You Practice, Evan. Get that by going to hoophandbook.com. Hoophandbook.com, right at the top of the page. You see the book. It's called How to Play as Well as You Practice. The book is free. The same way I made this book free. How to Play as Well as You Practice is free. All you do is cover a shipping charge. We'll ship it to you worldwide, anywhere that you live. That's how you do that. So I wrote a book for damn near everything. There's a book for everything. How can you regain this feeling if you lose it after some mistakes during the game? I can help you with that with this book right here. Also the 4-book bulletproof bundle. So when you go get this book, there's a little checkbox on the page that says get the 4-book bulletproof bundle. That's this book on discipline. I got another one on confidence, another one on mental toughness, and another one on taking initiative. You can get all 4 together. It's called the Bulletproof Bundle. Go to mirrorofmotivation.com. On that page, you can get those books. Evan Wallace. That's how you do that. Tillman says, how do you train your focus? One of the best ways to get started, because focus is a consistent thing. It's not like you do it one time. You need to do it all the time. I would suggest you subscribe to the Work on Your Game audio masterclass experience, which you can get on any of your favorite podcasting apps, Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, etc. So look up Work on Your Game on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play. Those are the most popular ones. Look me up. I'm there every single day. Today was episode number 1,628. Did everybody hear what I just said? My show is every day. Today's episode was number 1,628. That is not a exaggeration. That is absolute fact. Someone said, what do you focus on being the best at post-basketball? This right here, the Work on Your Game philosophy. I created it so nobody can beat me at it. So I'm undefeated at being the best at this. Someone said, well, you spoke to my men empowerment group to give value to young men. Yes, I will. Send me an email. Send an email to, send an email to my assistant, rem@dreallday.com, rem@dreallday.com. Tell her that you reached out to me on Instagram and we'll make that happen. So again, mirrorofmotivation.com, mirrorofmotivation.com. That's where you get this book. Everybody, I am the most consistent guy on earth. That's a fact. At least when it comes to the internet. There might be people doing some other stuff more consistent or just as consistent, but nobody can beat me on a day-to-day when it comes to what I publish. Somebody says, how much longer am I going to be on live? Today is about to be over. But I will do another live tomorrow. But everybody, mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is already covered. Book is already paid for. All you do is cover the shipping. On November the 1st, which is this Sunday, listen everybody, this Sunday, November the 1st, we have a new program we are launching at Work on Your Game Incorporated. It is we got something for everybody. We got levels for everybody. We are taking all of our best material, the most important material, and we are streamlining it to make it easy for everybody to follow and everybody to really take your game to the next level, whatever your game is, whatever your next level happens to be. That's coming out on November the 1st. If you are on my email list, you will know about it because we're sending the email out Sunday morning. That's November the 1st. If you're not on my email list, you need to get on it by going and getting this book. As soon as you put in your email address, we will have your email address. You'll be on our list. Or you just go to workonmygame.com, get on that email list. Look at my story. I talk about this. This Sunday, we are announcing a brand new program. Again, that's November the 1st. This Sunday, that's also daylight savings time. So it's going to be light outside when you wake up. Mirrormotivation.com, everybody. Somebody said we're going to play one-on-one. Never. I ain't playing nobody one-on-one. That ship has sailed. You missed the boat on playing me one-on-one. So everybody, work on your game. We do this live again tomorrow. Subscribe to the Work on Your Game podcast. Comes out every single day. Tomorrow is episode number 1,629. That's not a joke. We out of here. Dre all day.